All right, we got another death battle. Aquaman versus SpongeBob SquarePants. This is just for this battle alone. I'm going to have to say SpongeBob wins this. I love Aquaman. I'm actually one of them Aquaman fans that keeps defending him because growing up, like I'm 34, growing up, Aquaman's always been like the butt of the joke. Every now and then he gets his respect, but he's been like the butt of the joke for dumb reasons, in my opinion. But I've always defended him. Love that superhero. I'm a huge DC fan. Y'all know that. But Aquaman was one of my top. I love Aquaman. I think Jason Momoa did a great job in the Snyder universe. And Justice League, the animated series, they did a really good job with Aquaman too. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of Aquaman. But considering he's facing SpongeBob, because of how goofy this sounds, I see SpongeBob winning this. I don't know everything about him. I know enough to where he could compete against Aquaman, but there's going to be something I don't know about SpongeBob that's going to be like, oh yeah, that trumps Aquaman. So already right now, as much as I'm a fan of Aquaman, is SpongeBob. I don't know how he's going to beat him, but SpongeBob going to do something. He's going to do something goofy, funny, whatever to win this death battle. But let's get right into this. Shout out to Death Battles. I'll put the original video in the description below. Let's look at this comedy. That's why I like these battles, bro. It's interesting. It's funny. It is an interesting thought. It's like, okay, what if SpongeBob took it seriously? What would that look like?
SpongeBob SquarePants, Nickelodeon's #1 not
Got the I'm ready look. I'm ready pose.
The Thalassic third wheel of the Super Friends. Thalassic means ocean. I looked it up.
The infinite ink black depths of the seven seas are home to any number of
I would love that
terrifying,
Aquaman's
awe-inspiring
powers.
creatures.
They're also home to these two losers. Though when it comes to cartoon characters, there's always more hidden beneath the waves. That's right, we're prioritizing the cartoons for maximum Toon Force shenanigans. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our
It's
job
a
to
no-brainer
analyze our
SpongeBob
and
wins when it
skills
comes to
find out who would
popularity.
win.
But I'm interested in seeing like battle each other. What's going to happen?
The year was 1946. The former allies of World War II were engaged in a Cold War between capitalist West and communist East.
The United States changed history forever with the introduction of the atomic bomb, a weapon of unparalleled nuclear devastation.
One of their most popular test spots, the site of 23 separate detonations over the course of 12 years for a total fission yield of 42.2 megatons, was Bikini Atoll in the middle of the Pacific
Crazy.
Ocean.
The results were ecological devastation.
Ooh-wee.
And perhaps something more. Deep beneath the atoll, the fauna began to change. They evolved, becoming sentient, forming language, technology, and society. This Bikini Bottom organized into a monarchy.
I didn't know that's what it was going to lead to the story
It
into.
developed a free market economy and a thriving artistic culture.
Even the simplest underwater creatures became capable of complex thought, including
Yes.
the very first multicellular organism to be
Every time I see
characterized as
plankton, I
part
always
of
think of
the
that.
Kingdom, the sea sponge.
And one sponge in particular, the greatest among them, lives in a pineapple under the sea. Oh!
SpongeBob SquarePants.
I wanted to
SpongeBob
sing the song.
I
SquarePants.
don't know about greatest.
I ain't gonna front. When this show first aired, I was like, what the heck is this? The song was catchy, but then I'm like, a sponge? Like when you're young, like I was a preteen when this show started. Man, I was sitting here like, okay, this is a weird one, but let's be real. A lot of the great ones come out weird like this. And SpongeBob is definitely in the Mount Rushmore of TV shows, in my opinion. It has one of my favorite lines ever in not just SpongeBob, but TV history. Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate! That is my favorite line. And how he just chasing him. Chocolate! Ah, finally! Oh, bro, I cried laughing every time. Oops, sorry. But, bro, that is my favorite. I know SpongeBob has a lot of classic lines. That, to me, is my favorite. A dude going crazy over chocolate. Ah, finally! Now that I have you here, I would like to buy all your chocolate. Anyway, sorry. Just seeing this reminded me of that
He's a
episode.
total dork. He's a painfully naive man-child whose only ambition in life is to continue his minimum wage job as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab.
Really
I ain't gonna
sounded
front.
like a
The
Squidward
desire
there,
stays the
Wiz.
same. I would love
No
to see
one
what a
wants to be
Krusty
a
Krab.
Squidward. Sponge
Wait.
Robert might not have the flashiest life, but he's happy. And that's what
I always
matters,
wanted to
ain't
try
it?
their
Not
food at the
that
Krusty
relevant.
Krabs. It always be looking
SpongeBob
good for a
is
cartoon.
physically incapable of even the most basic tasks, almost like anti-Toon Force. He's the biggest wimp in town, like the time he failed to lift a glass of lemonade, or the time a school bully gave him diarrhea, or the time he effortlessly rotated the entire planet. Huh.
Oh, we're in for some shit.
In a way, that's
aren't
power.
we? Despite being a real sea creature, SpongeBob is more like a kitchen sponge. Absorbent and yellow and porous is he after all. He can stretch and shapeshift his body any way he likes, duplicate himself through asexual reproduction, and absorb immense amounts of liquid. Wouldn't he always be full, though?
From an entire lagoon to, oh god, enough water to replace the moon?
Oh, and for some reason, he has an insane healing factor. He survived being torn in half, vaporized, having his soul removed from his body, and
Oh,
literally
yeah, I
being
forgot about
unraveled
that.
out of existence. Okay, I think we're good. We can just end the rundown here.
No. I need to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, I don't know if
Perhaps
there's
his
gonna be
most
something that
mind-bending
Aquaman can do to
ability is
beat
his
him.
Control over bubbles. No, stay with me. This is unbelievable. Like a soapy Green Lantern ring, his bubbles can become anything he wishes, from guided cruise missiles to sentient life and entire bubble societies. That's a pretty similar effect to his magic pencil, which can draw anything he wants into existence and erase it from reality just as easily. The pencil was so powerful, SpongeBob sent it back to the surface where it belonged. But in later seasons, he still just has it for some reason.
And finished. I call him Doodle Whiz. Whiz, he's just like you, but I made him with a pencil.
I'm calling the police.
Dang.
Even the mundane becomes godlike in SpongeBob's yellow hands, like his reef blower, which hoovered up the entirety of Earth's oceans in seconds and then exploded on top of SpongeBob all at once.
It's estimated the entire mass of Earth's oceans is about 1.5 quintillion tons.
Okay,
Considering all the water
come
we
on
fill the
now.
planet
You know
with
him taking all that water was
seconds,
very
that'd be a kinetic
exaggerated.
energy of over
But I guess this is how they do it.
6,000 Yoda tons.
That's enough energy to
compare the powers.
13 times
As
over.
exaggerated as that
And
scene was.
SpongeBob was completely unharmed.
His hydrodynamic spatula isn't just an impromptu bladed weapon. It's also his primary instrument to create the greatest food.
I'm telling y'all,
Bikini
SpongeBob
Bottom
gonna
has
win in the
ever
most
seen,
goofiest way.
The Krabby Patty.
A burger so delicious, it's basically magic. Not only is it totally addictive, SpongeBob was romantically
always wanted to
attracted
try
to
one of
it.
them burgers,
It can
bro.
nullify mind control, heal wounds, and even detonate.
SpongeBob has survived nukes point blank, hugged his best friend Patrick so hard their DNA fused, can ride
Oh
on
my
the
goodness,
scene
I forgot
transitions,
about that.
And once cried so hard he flooded Bikini Bottom, even though it's already underwater. Shit, he once grabbed a hold of this mysterious string and unraveled the entire universe. He literally undid
Again,
the
very
fabric of
exaggerated,
reality
but hey,
in
he did it.
seconds. What the fuck?
What was that you were saying about anti-Toon
Aquaman ain't doing all
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm not sure I've ever misjudged a character as severely
A
as
Krabby Patty.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Nice character arc there, Wiz. Unfortunately for Roberto, the rest of the town only saw the goofy goober on the outside. It took more than one adventure to prove himself to be a real hero. You think he ever banged that squirrel?
He's crushed Plankton's Plan Z, won the Battle of Bikini Bottom against an army of killer robots, and even teamed up with fellow Nickelodeon stars Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron, and Danny Phantom.
Oh,
to
yeah, I
save
forgot
the
about that
Nicktoons
game.
multiverse.
His biggest weakness is that he's a giant, suicidally naive idiot.
And depending on the humidity of the atmosphere around him, being out of the water can dehydrate and permanently incapacitate him.
Oh, also seasonal rot. Those first 3 seasons are pure gold, but after that, oh boy. There's this one episode called Squid Baby where Squidward gets brain damaged into a giant baby and shits himself on screen.
What are you talking about?
Oh, right. Trials and tribulations and Hasselhoffs aside, it wasn't until SpongeBob accepted himself for who he was that he was rewarded with the greatest boon of all. Middle management!
So if nautical nonsense be something you wish, then pray to your yellow porous god for mercy, because his whimsical laughter is the last thing you'll ever hear.
Well, sorry, Aquaman, you lose.
Aquaman, king of the seven seas.
We've covered Arthur Curry on the show before, and he's actually
I love the
secretly
superhero,
awesome.
though.
That's
In the
right,
comics,
Lucy. But the
everything.
version we're dealing with today is from the bargain bin cartoons from the 60s and 70s.
Now, you might assume that means this Aquaman is a total loser, but really, have you watched all those cartoons?
Remember, this is from
Exactly.
the era when Superman was sneezing solar systems apart. So, get ready.
Art's origin is basically the same as the Silver Age comics. Tom Curry was a humble lighthouse keeper who decided
325
one day
pounds?
to
Wow.
fuck a fish.
He did not do that. He procreated with Atlanta, an Atlantean from the underwater city of Poseidonus, and from their union, Arthur Curry was born with magnificent aquatic abilities.
That would be cool, bro. To talk to fish and live underwater. I would love that. I love being in the
It says here
ocean.
that was introduced in the comics later. Here he's just some guy with magnificent aquatic abilities and a giant mutant seahorse that neighs just like a land horse.
This Aquaman comes from a time when everybody who's anybody had their own secret
super
cave
friends.
with assorted gadgets. He's got an underwater jet ski, a net, octopus ink, a water pistol, and a portable heat ray to blast right through solid ice. Not exactly mind-blowing, but you know, I'm sure we're ramping up.
We sure are. Aquaman's hybrid human Atlantean biology grants him superhuman strength and the ability to breathe underwater indefinitely and withstand the crushing depths of the ocean floor.
The pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is 16,000 pounds per square inch. That's like being stepped on by 100 elephants.
Damn,
Which is a
bro.
lot, I guess.
Aquaman
crazy.
is also an incredible swimmer, able to travel from Florida to Maine in under an hour. That's almost twice the speed of sound. He can create water balls and whirlpools out of thin water, and fittingly, water-based attacks are completely ineffective against him. And of course, you can't forget his aquatic telepathy.
He can talk to fish, and he can even control people's minds and give them seizures, right?
Oh, actually, that second part is also just from the comics. Cartoon Aquaman can talk to fish.
Oh, I was
which
like,
is
I didn't know you could do that.
His telepathy can reach several miles, summon hundreds of sea creatures
Even
at
reading
once,
the comics, I don't
and
remember him
anything
doing
from
that.
microscopic
Well, I didn't read
organisms
every
to
comic,
alien
but still.
life, as long as it's aquatic alien life, of course.
But he can still mind control them, right?
Kind of. He can free them from mind control and even influence their emotional state to some degree, but besides that, there have been times when sea creatures have just ignored his commands outright.
Wheels,
I
I'm gonna
don't
be
want to
straight
listen
with
to
you.
you.
You haven't said anything remotely mind-blowing yet. Does this Aquaman actually suck?
Hold your seahorses. Aquaman's exploits were so world-renowned, he banded together with Earth's mightiest heroes to form a team capable of defending the planet, nay, the universe, from any threat. The Super Friends.
The Super Friends. They're like the dime store knockoff version of the Justice League.
What? No. You've got heavy hitters like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman,
Keep going.
Flash, Green Lantern,
Uh-huh.
Apache Chief.
Yeah, their lineup was fire.
Samurai, Black Vulcan, the Wonder Twins.
The Wonder Twin. I love the Wonder. That's one of the most
Wait.
underrated superheroes in my opinion.
You're embarrassing.
They should
yourself.
bring that
Wait,
back.
his
Bring them
best
back. I
direct
love
strength
them.
feat was when he moved some trash. About 50 metric tons of it.
The jokes write themselves, huh? Fun fact, Aquaman once enrolled in an American college under the name Mr. Waterman. So we're working with a pretty heavy
So I
IQ
just read
here,
the
Okay, so he's
the
like,
title here is Nickelodeon versus Super Friends. So they're basing this all off of Super Friends Aquaman. It just now registered to me because I'm like, it's so much more to him. Look at the comics, look at the movies and all that stuff. But once they said earlier, he was like, no, that's the comic version. We're talking about this version. I'm like, oh, they're only talking about specifically this one. In that case, yeah, SpongeBob definitely going to win.
Arguably completely lame.
I missed that first part of it.
I'd find some crazy, insane
I wish they just said
punch-out
Aquaman in
anime
general,
somewhere,
not
but no,
the Super
he
Friends
sucks.
version.
He actually sucks. His best feat is literally garbage.
I'll take over from here, Wiz. Aquaman is a bit of a joke, sure, but he's not completely useless. He's dodged laser beams, defeated a living Titanic by luring it into an iceberg, seriously, and beaten this water elemental Undine, who looked like a gorilla for some reason, by summoning seagulls to pelt her with clamshells. He once even outswam this Kryptonian pterodactyl monster Rokan, who flew from the edge of the galaxy to
Kryptonian?
Earth in about
Interesting.
15
I wonder if
seconds.
that monster just as
Wait,
strong
really?
as Superman.
Okay, now we're talking. That'd be over 55 billion times the speed of light. And Aquaman's swimming clearly outmatched that. It doesn't matter if it looks lame.
You get one, buddy.
And hey, he could probably kick your ass, person that's watching at home, so that's something.
Well, not if he's on dry land. If he's out of the water for even 1 hour, he dies. Never mind, person watching at home, just hide for a bit, grab some lunch, and then stomp on his corpse.
I wish they literally talk about the whole picture of Aquaman, comics, all this. Like how they've done with Iron Man and Superman in these death battles. They share every version, his full potential. Well, for the most part, their full potential. Here, they showing the goofy side of him.
Yeah.
This is why people think he's a joke.
The combatants are
And now, since knowing that, I mean, yes, SpongeBob gonna win this.
One possibility.
It's time for Aquaman's funeral!
Aquaman's funeral.
Mermaid Man? Wait a second, you're not Mermaid Man.
The name's Aquaman, evildoer.
Evildoer? I'm a hero.
I saved this city. There's only one real hero here, Fiend. And he's a super friend.
You see, sir, I'm a sea sponge, phylum porifera, and you can't just... How about a little karate, Waterman?
It's Aquaman! Of course. He's a sea creature. And as the king of the seas, he's mine to command.
This is embarrassing for him.
I wasn't just reaching out to you, Sponge. Let him have it,
Dude is
chums.
bruised already.
Great Neptune!
Get a load of this, Seaman!
Damn it, it's Need water. Powers fading. Is there nothing I could do? Amen. I see it now.
The better version.
Of Aquaman. And out of
Wait,
all
the
of
what? They show the better version.
Amen. I see it now. A multiverse of Aquaman. And out of all of them, I'm the lamest fucking one!
Goodness gracious, bro.
I'm a ripoff. A joke. I'm no superhero.
People used to say the same kind of things about me. Goofball, wingnut, knucklehead McSpazatron. But every day, I get back up and say 2 words. I'm ready.
He took the one of the multiverses staff.
May the best
Tried
hero
it.
win.
Yeah, I did not pay attention in the beginning of which Aquaman they was doing. I didn't think they was gonna do all that.
What?
Wait. Oh, he just took his arm off. Oh. The other side.
of the
Uh-oh. I was about to say, okay, maybe that's how he wins, but nope. He always finds a way.
I'll prove it to you. I'll be a real superhero.
Dang.
Don't
Dang.
cry, Sponge. Let's be super.
This was just an embarrassing move. Just to embarrass Aquaman. That's all this was. Oh shit, they still got the name wrong. Yeah,
What
that's my
is it
fault for
with
not paying attention to the
ridiculously
beginning of
goofy,
the Super
nautical
Friends
themed
part
cartoon characters
of
on
the
this
title.
show is-
This was an incredibly close fight. Gotcha.
Okay, I was about to say, wait a minute.
Snowball's chance in hell in defeating this little spongy bastich.
Where do we even start? With his bubbles and magic pencils, SpongeBob could basically do anything he wanted. There was no way Aquaman wouldn't get totally overwhelmed, especially with his much more limited arsenal. I can't think of a more
Because that's what I was like when I said SpongeBob was going to win. I was thinking of the full extent, facing the full extent of Aquaman's power, like not just the Super Friends version, but like the comic versions and all that. I still don't think that version of Aquaman could be SpongeBob. So I definitely knew when I put two and two together that this is just one version of Aquaman they're showing. He definitely didn't have a chance here.
Lopsided matchup than someone whose main attack is throwing water against a sentient sea sponge.
Aquaman's only potential option was his telepathy, but as we've covered, it's far less powerful than his comic counterpart. There's no reason to believe SpongeBob wouldn't just ignore Arthur's commands.
Even if it was straight up mind control, SpongeBob's Krabby Patties straight up cancel mind control.
And really, nothing Aquaman had could overcome Bob's utterly broken regeneration.
The little
Exactly.
yellow dude has survived being completely disintegrated into dust and even erased from reality.
I ain't gonna front though. I still wish they
Aquaman can do
went
is
through all
punch
different
kinda
versions of
hard.
Aquaman,
Even
like they
that's
did with
basically
Superman and
useless
other
against Bob's
heroes.
squishy body.
Maybe Aquaman could have found a way to dehydrate SpongeBob enough to keep him permanently incapacitated, like when he and Patrick were trapped in Shell City.
But that would require the fight to take place out of the water, which messes Aquaman up way harder than it does SpongeBob. And it
Yeah,
also
now that
requires
part
the fight
of
doesn't
him
get
dying in an
silly enough
hour,
for
I mean, come
SpongeBob
on.
karate chopping Aquaman at 10 shit zillion times the speed of light, splattering his atoms against Saturn. Cause yeah, remember when SpongeBob unraveled the universe? Considering the
No, I'm sorry, I need to do this one. This is fucking insane. Compared to SpongeBob's size, the string's width is about 192 micrometers. We can use that to find
That's the question I just hit my mind. Can Superman beat SpongeBob? He erased the universe like this?
Universe. Considering it took SpongeBob
SpongeBob is just straight up
5
overpowered.
seconds, he would have had to be pulling at 8.2 times 10 to the 78th power times faster than light.
That's as many times faster than light as there are atoms in the universe.
This is the fastest calculable speed feat in our show's history. And it belongs to SpongeBob SquarePants.
But do you think he could take on comic book Aquaman?
There we go.
You've been listening to anything I've been
And
saying.
I think so. Like I said, I think he could take him out too.
That string feat also
I don't even think
destroyed
Superman
the
can beat that.
entire universe. And stuff like that is actually consistent.
SpongeBob is literally aware of the fourth wall and has rewritten the plot of his own story as he's living it.
Aquaman
Pencil
says
with
won the
bubbles,
moral
he can just
victory.
will whatever he wants into existence from his imagination. He's a god, a yellow, spongy god of death.
And that's why he beats Goku.
At least Arthur finally got to be a real hero. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah, sure, whatever, pal. He's dead. Too bad for
Right.
the King of the Seas. That sure was one sweet victory.
The winner is SpongeBob
Yeah,
SquarePants,
we just gotta
our
accept the
god.
facts. SpongeBob just overpowered, bro. I don't think with all that, the way he just did the universe like that, yeah. And it's all a joke, but still. But I still wish they didn't go with just the Super Friends version of Aquaman, because not being able to breathe on like out of the water and stuff like that. And they chose the most made fun of Aquaman version of face SpongeBob. But I mean, to be real with you, they could have used, like I said, they could have used the other ones, and it still wouldn't have beaten them. But that was still fun nonetheless. Watching some of that stuff of SpongeBob brought back memories of funny moments in that show. I haven't watched SpongeBob in a minute, but hey, there's a lot of stuff I remember from that. And the Super Friends. To see the Super Friends again, I used to watch that with my dad and grandmother. Yeah, that was some good memories too. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know what else y'all want me to check out. All right, see y'all later.